Hi there, Natalie with you today with a new process video for Pinkfresh Studio. And today I'm so excited because this is my first layout using the new The Best Day collection, and this collection is gorgeous. I mean, there's soft colors, beautiful designs, and that touch of Pinkfresh Studio that we all love. So what inspired this layout is this paper is called The Best Day, and the center it's a cut apart paper, and the center card had two cards that combine one single design. They come like a flourish of flowers. So I'm gonna use that. That's my starting point for this layout. I love the cards. I love pocket pages, so this one was right up my alley. So I have two pictures of my children, my two kids. A couple years ago on a fall walk, we live in an apartment building next to a river in Toronto. So there's a whole bunch of stuff around us, and I usually like to take them for walks in the fall, and I take lots of pictures. So like I said before, my starting point is these cards. I'm actually gonna separate them. I thought about keeping them together, but it wasn't helping my design, so I'm gonna cut them apart. And now my idea is I want to use one of the chipboard frames to just bring the attention to just the picture of my kids. There's a lot of empty space around it. And then I want to make sure, I want to play with the layers. I want to layer stuff here. So I love that gray card that says remember this day, because it's a nice contrast with all the yellow in the picture. So I'm just playing with some of the position. Like I said, I want to bring some of the pink. So you're gonna see that I am actually, first thing I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take a break, and then I'm gonna add a piece of vellum behind one of the photos, just because I want to create a soft separation. And then I'm gonna go back. I played quite a bit with, like, how I'm gonna set up everything. It was so nice. It was fun to play with nice stuff. So I'm gonna bring in the pink card, which is the other side of the card, and you're gonna see that I'm actually gonna glue it on an offset so that you see the flourish in the gray card, but you see all the writing in the pink card. Once I have that together, I'm literally gonna add the pictures. I'm gonna add the horizontal picture right underneath the pink one, and then the one that I actually use the chipboard just to zoom in on the photo. I'm just gonna put it on the side, on the left hand side, and you're gonna see right now I'm just adding the chipboard. They are adhesive, so I'm just gonna center my photo and cut all the X's around it. Just wanna keep it nice and framed in a way. So now that I have pretty much all my stuff ready, I'm gonna start building my layout, and I'm gonna use a little bit of everything. I'm gonna use some of the floral ephemera because the flowers in this collection are gorgeous. I'm gonna bring some of the journaling bits because there's a lot of texture. There's some eyelets, and I want to bring some pink and yellow because a nice contrast with the gray tones that I have in that card. So once I have pretty much the idea, I know that I need to add a piece of paper behind it just to kind of frame the idea, and it's going to be a vertical design. So I went into the 6x6 paper pad, and I found this nice yellow plaid, and it's a nice contrast with the gray and the pink, and it brings some of the colors in the frame. So I'm just going to go ahead and trim around 5 inches, and then I'm literally gonna build my layers and put them together before I go back and working in the background. It's just a way this layer worked backwards in a way. It just worked easier that way. So one of the things that I'm gonna do is, I'm sure that some of you have, if you do mixed media or if you're working with any project and you have some cardstock that wasn't that nice, you keep, you throw it. I usually keep it. So what I'm gonna do is I just want to create a soft dimension on the background. So I'm gonna use this leftover cardstock, and it's 140-pound cardstock, so it's quite thick, just as a way to add dimension to my layers. So simple as that. I'm gonna make sure that I glue all the pieces, all the paper layers, all the frames together, have them all in one single piece because they're gonna be joined together before I start working on the background. So pretty much happy with what it looks like. I want a vertical design. It's gonna go from the top to the bottom of my page. I want to take advantage of that vertical design. So once I have all that ready, I'm gonna use a pencil to mark the width of the paper, that vertical the vertical design, what the dimension between the left and the right of it is. And then I'm gonna start working on adding a little bit of color on the background. Now here's the little clue what I use really heavy cardstock because I know that I'm gonna add simple mixed media, but I am gonna add water, not lots of water, just a little bit. But if you're just using regular cardstock, then you might want to add a little bit of gesso to your page so you can create a similar look to what I'm doing. So I'm starting by just adding some ink to my background. I'm using Ocean Breeze and Aquamarine, which are like tones of teal, and there's that soft teal in the collection, so I want to bring some of that onto my page. So I'm just using the dots that I created, pretty much the frame of the layers, to add my ink around it. And I'm creating a frame. I want to make sure that the ink kind of peeks from behind all the papers, but I don't want to cover the entire page. So once I have that, you're gonna see that I'm gonna add a little bit of sky blue too, because I just want to bring some of that blue that the collection has. Once I have my frame ready, I'm actually gonna come in with some water. I'm just gonna spray a little bit of water onto my background. And this is what I say, you need to worry what kind of paper you're using for your background. Regular cardstock or pattern paper will curl with the amount of water you're gonna add. And I'm not adding much, but it's a very water tends to buckle your page. That's what I'm using, heavy cardstock. But if you're using pattern paper or regular cardstock, you want to add a little bit of gesso just to prevent curling. And then you're gonna see that my page does not curl because I'm using heavy cardstock. So once I add the water onto my ink, the water is gonna activate the ink, and not really activate it, but it's gonna eat away. Look at a bleach look to the ink, and that's what I want. I want a distressed look on my background. So now here's when I'm gonna come in and add more interest to the background. I am using the Slimline Heart Builder layering stencil, and this is one of the new stencils from Pinkfresh Studio. And I'm gonna use, I'm starting with sky blue. So all I'm doing is picking up some of the ink with my brush and then going on a circular motion on top of the larger heart stencil. That's stencil number 1. There's a little number at the top of the stencil. And I don't want to create the entire rectangle of hearts. I want to create just little spots of the hearts. Think of it as just the corners of my frame. So you're going to see that, again, picking up some of the ink, going in a circular motion on top of the stencil, that's gonna create the impression, and then I'm gonna hit it with some water again, and that's gonna activate the ink in the heart, and it's gonna eat it away, give it a bleached effect. And I'm just gonna come in with a paper towel and soak up all that excess water, and that's gonna leave me that distressed kind of bleach effect on the background. So then you're gonna see that I'm bringing my little bundle of papers just to make sure that everything is looking nice, that everything is showing nicely. And then I'm gonna come in with the second stencil. Remember, this is a layering stencil, so it creates a heart within a heart within a heart. So there's 3 hearts. So all I'm gonna do is just move my stencil, which is this one is the one with the medium heart, so it sits right on the center. I'm actually gonna use this time I'm using Ocean Breeze ink, and again I'm picking up the ink and going on a circular motion on top of the stencil just to create the impression. Very simple. Here's where I realized that on the right hand side of the page I need to stretch my stencil a little bit more just so it shows. A lot of it's gonna be hidden with my photo, and I'm okay with that, but I want a little peek of the heart to actually show on the right. So I'm just stretching a little bit with the stencil, and that's the beauty of this stencil. Because it's a continuous and repetitive shape, you're able to elongate the shape by just shifting the stencil. So once I have that, again I'm gonna apply some water. I want to create that distressed look, and then I'm gonna soak up the excess with my paper towel. Now I want to add texture and lighten the background. For this I'm actually gonna use embossing paste, and because the little hearts in my application of the hearts is not that accented, I'm gonna show you a little trick. I'm gonna bring the first stencil, the one with the medium hearts, I'm gonna place it like where I created the impression. Then I'm gonna put the small hearts on top of it, hold it in place, and just slide the medium hearts out. That way I have a perfect placement for my stencil, and all I'm gonna do is apply some embossing paste. You can use texture paste, you can use gold paste, whatever, you know. You can even foil this. I think Carissa did it in one of her videos, and you can do a lot of things. I just wanted something white, something that was gonna bring the distress, you know, give it more of that bleach effect. I wanted to add some texture, and the white is actually gonna pop from the little blue heart on the background. So once again, I'm not applying, like, you know, the entire sheet of creating all the hearts in my stencil. I just want little pops, especially where they're gonna be seen. So I'm gonna take it to the side, make sure that dries before I come back and finish my layout. And like I said, I kind of work backwards a bit on this layout. I first worked my layers, and then I'm working my background. Usually I work the other way, but it just was easier to create it this way because I had all my layers in place. So once my background dried, all I had to do was glue it and have it ready. And you're gonna see right now, here's the little thing is I am actually gonna use a strong glue to glue. I'm not gonna use my double-sided adhesive. Whenever you add mixed media to anything, it becomes a little bit slippery, so you're gonna need to use strong glue. I am using Barely glue. I'm actually enjoying it. I bought it, and I'm actually really enjoying the glue. It's doing this job really nicely. So once I have that, I'm just gonna glue it in place. My layout is pretty much done because I worked the layers before. So you're gonna see that I'm just adding some pops of florals to this. I added that yellow one on the top right corner of my paper layers just because I have that pink and gray card there. I'm gonna add that pink floral. These are from the floral ephemera from the collection to the bottom left corner where I have the chipboard frame. I'm adding those little black and white I'm gonna say kind of filler florals that come in the floral ephemera pack, just because I want to bring the chipboard frame that I'm using has those little branches, so I'm gonna bring that look into the page. And then I went into the chipboard flare, and I pulled that one that says hello fall, and I'm gonna repeat the circle chipboard in 3 places on my layout just to have that triangle. And then I'm gonna just add some more embellishments, very little ones, not much. I don't want to take away from what I already have. I'm adding my title. I'm loving the alpha. I love the alpha. It's the same, that beautiful font from before, but now these are navy blue. So I put the name at the title at the bottom, Full Love. And then I went into the cardstock stickers and found this little strip that had all the colors that I'm using. So I'm going to put it right at the bottom just to anchor my title. And then I'm going to bring a little flower from the puffy sticker just so that I have 3 of the thing, you know, like a ratio triangle. And then I think all I added after this is like a little piece of ephemera that said that best day. It's like a little flag. So I'm gonna add it next to the yellow flower at the top, right below it. I'm gonna add another circle piece of ephemera. There's a circle that has that teal look on the background. It actually has a cut apart heart, so I thought that was gonna bring some of the background into the layout. So I'm gonna use it, and I'm gonna add it next to the XOXO yellow heart on the top left corner. And then after that, I'm just gonna add another strip of a cardstock sticker that says "You don't know how much you love" or something like that. I can't read it right now because I don't have my glasses on me. And then I need to add some shine, and for this I'm using the gems. These are Glacier. I remember the name this time. I'm gonna add them, especially where I have the little clusters of ephemera, just to accent that and bring the attention there. Then my lines of journal, I did not want to add them at the bottom because then we just can make it really heavy. Instead, I'm gonna add them right underneath the number 2. You know, that chipboard flare with the number 2. I'm just gonna draw my lines with some pencil and then go with a really fine liner, add my lines of journal, and that's about it. I love how this turned out. Like I said, I struggled a little bit with the design of the page just because I wanted to take advantage of the cards. But after that, I love how this turned out. As always, if you have any questions, do not hesitate to contact me. Remember to check the collection. It's coming out soon to retailers. And thank you so much for joining me. I hope to see you soon. Take care, guys.